Just a heads up, I don't curse, so I'll always replace the curse word with something else.
Why Midoriya is Scary by sugary_sweet 312. Read by Ella Flowerdet. Summary. To be the principal of a school so large, Nezu certainly held a lot of power. People would think he spent his time in the principal's office to do boring paperwork principals do, but he always finished those rather easily. He much preferred spending his free time doing whatever he was doing now. He was watching the CCTVs. He liked seeing sides of the teachers and students he didn't know of. It also helped him understand humans better, so he watched. One of the humans he was intrigued with was Midoriya. Midoriya had shown unexpected sides throughout the last couple of months. Perhaps he became more comfortable? Otherwise, 5 times Midoriya scares the teachers and makes Nezu intrigued. Or me figuring out how to write an intimidating seminar role. Number 1. An unknown aura. Midoriya was having quite a bad day. Kaminari had subbed again, making the power in the dome messed up. Bakugo was shouting at him, demanding a match of some sort. He forgot to do his homework because yesterday he was too absorbed in another hero fight analysis. And now he was faced with Monoma taunting him while he was just trying to walk in the hallway in peace. You're so useless. 1B is clearly more superior. I can't believe that golden student can't even control his own quirk. Honestly, I would rather hide in my own room rather than waltzing in a school thinking you own this place. I mean, how could you even? Midoriya was getting more and more irritated. It would seem like the right moment, but walked in the same time Midoriya had enough. Hey! Monoma flinched at the sudden tone. Blood froze. Midoriya never talked back to Monoma's taunts. He would usually just smile and walk away like nothing ever happened, as if he was used to it. He never responded back, until now. I'm just minding my own business here, and you show up running your mouth like you're the king and all that. He turns around and faces Monoma with a smile. However, I would really appreciate it if you can get out of my sight before I practice my intricate act of decapitation to you. I've been practicing for a while now, you know? Midoriya grinned, staring directly at Monoma as if he was actually going to commit murder. That wasn't right, though. Midoriya would never kill, would he? The blonde could almost swear Midoriya's eyes turned toxic green. Thankfully, he got the message and ran away to never ever look back. Midoriya sighed in pure frustration and turned around before making eye contact with a frozen blood. The two stared at each other at what felt like an eternity before Midoriya's face flushed in embarrassment and ran away from his still frozen teacher. Blood was watching from behind, but he felt the threatening aura. If he didn't know better, he would have thought Midoriya was an actual villain. That thought gave him shivers. The child with a destructive quirk like that being a villain? He thanked whatever universe powers there was that he was in the timeline where Midoriya is a UH student and certainly not a villain. Number 2. A past one wish was forgotten. Being a simple math teacher, Ectoplasm was having quite a peaceful time if he ignored the whole League of Villains fiasco. His quirk was very useful, and he never had the luck to face villains outside of school that often, excluding missions, of course. Excuse me, Ectoplasm, sir. And there he was, the child exactly opposite to him. A child with a flashy quirk that attracted villains like a flower to bees, with the number one hero as his oh so obvious mentor. Ectoplasm liked the kid. He was very diligent, and though he did a couple of simple mistakes here and there, he was overall a good kid in math. Yes. Oh, how wrong he was. I was wondering, if you create clones, can you communicate to them as separate beings, or are they just some sort of extension of yours? Well, it's more like an extension, but they usually act on their own. I see. Then, how did you figure out you can combine yourself with your other clones? Was there an accident or something? Oh, how it was much more than a simple accident. It was the day he almost turned into a bloodlust Godzilla that wanted to destroy the entire world, and he would much rather forget about that. However, since Midoriya mentioned it again, he started reliving all those embarrassing memories of shopping at. Midoriya took the silence as a yes, bowed, and walked away, acting like he didn't just give Ectoplasm a whole existential crisis. His face, however, told a whole different story. It was as if he actually knew the accident, but of course he wouldn't. Right? Right. Number 3. A skill to be feared. 1A was going to have weapon training for the very first time, and Snap was teaching them. He dropped a box of BB guns in front of the class.
Go grab them. If you all have tried them though. He carefully placed a box of real guns and ammo. Try these. Most of the class migrated to the BB guns, while a couple of students went to grab the real guns. Momo, which made sense since she probably tried to make them. Bakugo, based on his personality, it made sense for Bakugo of all people to have tried BB guns. Todoroki, probably because of his dad. Tokoyami, why? No one questioned it. And Midoriya. Why would Midoriya of all people have experience using guns? Snap did not know. He did know that it meant chaos. He did know that it meant chaos when he sensed Kaminari, Mina, Zero, and Kirishima freeze. Midoriya picked up a rifle. Midoriya picked up a rifle gun. Midoriya picked up a rifle with a rather concerning ease and set it up without Snipe even telling him anything. Before the whole class knew it, a loud BAM echoed across the whole training ground. He hit the mannequin right on the head. It was a headshot. What the heck? Midoriya did a couple more shots, and Bakugo tried shooting beside him. As you can guess, Bakugo was failing miserably, and Midoriya was excelling. It seemed like Midoriya was getting rather bored, so he picked up a sniper rifle. Snipe watched as Midoriya shot target after target, only missing a couple. The oblivious child face sniped and asked, Sensei, do you have a machine gun? A machine gun. Why would Snipe have a machine gun? Oh, who was he kidding? Of course he had a machine gun. He went to the storage room, got the machine gun, and gave it to the kid. A kid. He was mildly intrigued, heavily concerned, and slightly scared. It seemed like Mira was very pleased he got a machine gun. However, when he was figuring it out, he pulled the trigger and shot a couple at Snipe. It whizzed right beside his head and he froze. How did he even miss by a centimeter? How did he even do that? Who knows? Midoriya seemed like he didn't know. He just gave his teacher a near-death experience and apologized profusely. The others, well, let's just say they'd rather stay on Midoriya's good side. Number 4. Curiosity killed a bird. Midoriya's notebooks were incredibly famous amongst the teachers. They all have heard of 1A talking about it, and only Aizawa had seen the notebooks. Peasant Mike, for one, was incredibly curious as to what his page wrote. He saw how Midoriya always aggressively wrote down whatever revelation he got on Mike after asking. Yet he never got the chance to even catch a glimpse of the book. And so, he sneaked into the 1A classroom and opened the notebook on Midoriya's table. It was a terrible idea, but he was desperate. All of his other attempts failed, and this was the only way he could have thought of. He went past the other pages, and when he saw his hero costume sketch, he stopped and stared. Not like in a good way. He was more terrified in a way, if anything else. His notes were scarily accurate. He didn't even remember telling some of them to the kid. How did he get a hold of this information? It was impressive though, he'd admit. From his fighting style weakness and strengths, to the simplest things like his hobbies, to intensely personal stuff. He glanced to the podium and almost passed out when he saw Aizawa standing there, looking at Mike as if he was some creep. That thing is scarily accurate. I know. How did he even... Don't even look at Toroki's notebook. It's insane. He has a notebook? Do you know that pitch black notebook he has? He took Midoriya's advice and wrote his theories in a notebook. Don't tell me it's the theories. It's the theories. Oh, hell no! Number 5. A child with no fear and a teacher with many. Midnight didn't know what she did wrong. Seriously. However, UA's resident Sunshine was obviously glaring at her, and she didn't know what to do. Midoriya was such a sweetheart, and she loved him for that. To see that she was obviously being hated, she was heartbroken. Don't get her started on his glare. It was terrifying, and if she needed to be at the end of it one more day, she'd probably break. Shota! I literally cannot hold it in any longer. Why does he hate me? Aizawa signed. You think I'd know? Do a little introspection, or just ask the kid directly, for all I care. Midnight already did a lot of introspection, so she decided to go with the latter. She went up to the kid and he gave her the coldest stare possible. Midnight cringed on the inside. The fact that one ace cinnamon roll held this much power from just a stare is insane. Midoriya? Yes? I was just wondering. Did I do something wrong? Midnight blurted out. Midoriya stared at her in pure disbelief before going on a full rant. You're literally a teacher and you don't know. First off, you made Midoriya horny all day and I cannot be any more grateful when he left. Do you know how uncomfortable he makes the girls? I thought, since your costume is like this, you would get it, but unfortunately, no. Second, in what world did you think it was a good idea to chain a 15-year-old to a pillar as well as putting a muzzle on him? He's not some rabbit animal. He's human. He didn't want to get the medal because Todoroki didn't go all out on him and he didn't think he deserved it. Maybe if you stopped and thought for a minute, you would realize how bad that was. On top of that, it was broadcasted on live TV. How do you not realize? You just ruined his whole reputation by making him look like he's a feral dog that needs taming. Midnight understood some of it, since Midoriya was basically going at it at a lightning speed. She realized how much she did wrong, and she would try to be better. After all, if Midoriya had the guts to tell her what she did was horrible, it was horrible. I, I see. I apologize. Thank you for telling me, Midoriya. Midoriya looked at her in utter disappointment. Oh, how she wished she could crawl into a hole. The Midoriya was disappointed in her. You're apologizing to me? You need to apologize to them, not me. Why are you even apologizing to me? Ah, right. Sorry. Thanks, Midoriya. Do you know where Bakugo might be? Rooftop. He likes being alone there. Don't go there. Go later when he's out of the rooftop. Right. After the rooftop. Got it. She walked away. She realized how Midoriya was not afraid to criticize even the teachers when it was about Bakugo, and she would definitely not make the same mistake. You do not want to be on the other end of his disappointed stare. +1. Intriguing actions often lead to interesting results. To be the principal of a school so large, Nezu certainly held a lot of power. People would think he spent his time in the principal's office to do boring paperwork principals do, but he always finished those rather easily. He much preferred spending his free time doing whatever he was doing now. He was watching the CCTVs. He liked seeing sides of the teachers and students he didn't know of. It also helped him understand humans better, so he watched. One of the humans he was intrigued with was Midoriya. Midoriya had shown unexpected sides throughout the last couple of months. Perhaps he became uncomfortable? He had also heard of the series of incidents from Aizawa, and he thought
The child could be his new partner in crime, as the human said it. Nezu decided to test him out a little. He called Midoriya to the principal's office. The child came in, looking like he was about to be executed at the guillotine. Midoriya, come in, have a seat. Nezu did not offer tea on purpose. Midoriya was even more scared. So, I heard you have a little notebook you use. Ah, yes. Well, I was wondering if you could allow me to take a little peek in it. Do you mind? No, not at all, sir. Midoriya handed the notebook to Nezu, slightly shaking. Did he do something wrong? Was it related to the notebook? Is he going to tell him it's creepy? What if he... Impressive. Midoriya looked at Nezu like he was insane. Nezu didn't mind. He hummed rather cheerfully as he skimmed through the incredible analysis of the teachers and students of UA. I hope you're not giving any of this to the opposite side. Of course not. I would like you to come to my office during Ectoplasm's class every day from now. Sorry? You are now my personal student. Sorry? You're smart in maths already, so no need for that. I will teach you everything you need to know. Excuse me, what? Would you like some tea? Yes, please. Nezu poured him some tea. Midoriya was confused, but he tried looking for anything on his principal's face, for anything that indicated he was lying, and found nothing. The smartest being of all Japan wanted him to be his personal student? It didn't make any sense. He searched for anything Nezu could gain from this, and he could only come up with personal entertainment. That didn't make any sense either though. How was he? A useless fraud? Entertaining? Maybe Nezu thought he was easy to toy with? That's what some of his teachers in the past did anyways. Then again, Nezu was the principal of UA, so maybe he wanted to see if his act of having a quirk would last. He is a fraud after all, so it makes... I'll send you your new schedule. For our first meeting, I would like to know everything about you I need to know. Nezu seemed to cut his train of deprecating thoughts with a much gentler smile. It almost seemed like he knew what Midoriya was thinking. But that's impossible, isn't it? I thought you already know everything about me. Kind of. I just want to check if my information is accurate enough or not. I see. Alright then. Go back to your class. Sure? I'll email it to you later. Alright, sir. Midoriya finished his tea and waved his now teacher goodbye. While Nezu was most certainly not creating a plan to make Midoriya rule the world, there was one concerning thought. Midoriya almost seemed like he was unsure of his capabilities to fit Nezu's expectations, then seemed like his distrust increased even further. Nezu was already planning a small investigation into his past. It seems like the sun wasn't always shining so brightly, Nezu said to himself.